Virginia back in the rankings until they're gonna, lose tonight, and then they'll be back out.
Oh, most definitely.
Indiana State, they'll win. They're just not gonna cover.
That's a bummer, honestly.
We got to talk about how the fuck FAU's still in the rankings.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of. Yeah. All right, you ready to roll?
Yeah, I was just familiarizing myself. Didn't get a chance to take a peek yet today. So.
Oh, fair enough.
I would say I am. How do you say? Ready?
All right. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hello, D-Gens. Welcome to Degenerate Takes. I, of course, am the Brofect1 AJ. Joining me, as always, he's the man with the numbers, sportsbook whisperer, college basketball guru, daddy of the diamond. All hail the king of the links. What was it, Noah? The prop prince? The prince of props?
The prince of props?
Of props. Money Train, Noah. I mean, hey, brother. Let's just take a second. Let's just take a second, brother. Let's just take a second here because I would like to say that we are one of the most fair gambling shows out here. Like we come out here every week. We give you our picks, and we're honest about our losers. But hey, when we get our winners, when we get those winners, I mean, brother. Was there any moment during Nick Taylor's run there where you were even worried a little bit? I mean, besides the fact that it went to a playoff and stuff like that, like, was there anything?
Not through like 3.5 rounds. And I gotta say, I don't think I've ever had a golf tournament, where we're watching the final round and I'm like, look, the three or four guys that I bet on are sitting 1, 2, 3, 4 right there on the leaderboard.
We talked about
for a big portion of it. I'm like, I was like, God, the best thing that could possibly happen. I'm like, if Scotty wins, Nick Taylor, Sahith, top 5, and then you get, Cam Young in the top 10. I'm like, I'm fucking golden on everything. Oh, yeah. And, almost worked out. Obviously, Scotty not able to bring home the win, the three-peat, but we're happy about Nick Taylor. I did not take him outright like you did, AJ. I did have him top 5 and top 10 on my card. I had Sahith top 5 and top 10. I had Scotty top 5, top 10, and outright. So, overall, it was a great day. It was a great tournament.
Great tournament. Great tournament for us. And we'll have our Genesis picks later on in the show. But no, I got to be honest. There was no better feeling than having the Nick Taylor bets hit my account as the Chiefs were starting their comeback. It was like, it was good vibes going into good vibes, brother. Let me tell you, it was.
And then being able to just roll that straight on a Chiefs live money line
money line
200 or whatever the hell it was at that point.
It was definitely one of my better days gambling. Looking to have another good weekend with the golf, and got to be honest, though. Not looking too hot in the college basketball world today, Noah, for myself.
Yeah, well, it's college basketball. I got an 18-game slate. Just hit the first win there with Marquette. Got more games not going the way I want than I have going the way I want right now. Yeah. But, I got an 18-game slate, so whatever. We'll make up for it at the later round of games.
Yeah, you can drop a couple here and there. You just got to come out on top at the end. But no, before we get in,
especially after Saturday night, I'm sitting there, betting my college basketball throughout the day, doing all right. I was having a decent day, right? And then, my last little crop of bets that I put in 10 of them that were all tipping off at like 8 p.m. or later. I was out having a little fun, a little fun little speakeasy bar, no TVs. The phone was away.
Ooh.
And, then afterwards, just looking, boom, 10 winners, 10 bets, 10 winners. And that just really, I had a little momentum going from Thursday and Friday, had good days there. And then that really kicked it off. And then Sunday was just between the waste management and the Super Bowl, made a fucking killing on that. I mean, I kid you not, over the weekend, I made a week's worth of salary. That's just so that's the type of weekend it was. And
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I got the hot hand. We'll see how today goes, college basketball. But I've had a very hot hand the last week and a half almost. So,
well, hey,
I'm feeling like I can't miss. Can't miss.
Hey, shooters, keep shooting, bud. Especially when you're hitting at that rate. Let's go. Let's keep it moving. But Noah, gotta admit, let me tell you who didn't have the best week. And that would be the AP, because I'm taking a look at this AP top 25 here for college basketball, and like I can get there. I can get there with some aspects of it, but you're gonna have to talk me through some of the choices that were made here, because there's a lot of, I think, at least questionable positioning in here.
Yeah, and some of them I might have an explanation for you, and some I might be just as confused as you are. So we'll have to get into it and go through it here.
Gotta love the AP. Gotta love the AP. Before we move on, Noah, I do just want to take a moment. Shout out to our 433 incredible followers here on Rumble. Something like 243 over on the YouTube. We're live there. If you're watching on X as well, we appreciate each and every single one of you. Forgot to go live on another platform, but hey, we're too late now. We're in this, Noah. Let's get into it. Let's talk AP top 25. Noah, we've got, looking at that top 5. UConn sitting there at number 1. Purdue, number 2. Houston, number 3. What the hell is going on with the computer? Let it fix itself.
Zoom, baby.
I thought it's not going to fix itself. All right, it's not.
Are we just zooming in on the more button? Oh, now the sign up button. I see. Okay,
hold on. I had this earlier today. I do not know what the fuck is going on. Okay. That'll work. UConn at 1, Purdue 2, Houston at 3, Marquette 4. Our Arizona Wildcats coming back up there in the top 5. Noah, gotta love to see that. Marquette just won that last game, right? That game went final?
Yeah, they
just won tonight.
Ended up winning by 6. Yep.
Okay. All right, not a bad win.
Road game. That should be a quad 1 win for them at Butler, the way Butler's played this year. I mean, I guess I'd be willing. Butler's got to be in the top 75 of the net, I would imagine. So that should be a quad 1 win added to Marquette's resume.
Yeah.
So not too shabby. Obviously, last week we talked about Marquette. I said they have been probably one of the hottest teams in college basketball. I am big on them right now. And, getting another solid win there. Let's see.
They gotta be up there.
Butler is 50 in the net right now. So for it to be quad 1, obviously, or if you don't know, a home game, it's got to be against the top 50. Road game, it's top 75. It's quad 1. So that's a quad 1, even if it was at home, still quad 1. But even if Butler falls out of that top 50, boom, quad 1 win. Good solid win for Marquette. Covered the 4.5 point spread by 1.5, but that's okay.
Hey, a cover's a cover. You're not going to flinch at that. But no, I mean, Noah, I think Marquette's still playing good basketball. I think they're playing good basketball. Just, they're bound to go out there and have a couple of rough games. And with a win, it's hard for me to go out to say they had a rough game. But watching that game, I mean, it seemed like it took a while for them to kind of gain control of the situation at hand. And again, against this Butler team, that's going to be fine. But I don't know, man. Don't get me wrong. I like where they're at. I think they should be in the top 5. I think they should be in the top 5. They just give you some stuff to think about.
I'm not worried about them at all. I'd probably put them as high as 3 in the rankings personally.
Fair enough. Over Houston there at 3. How you feel about that?
No, I was thinking over Purdue, but we know. Well,
yeah, duh.
We know how I feel about Purdue, so
I still fine. They're really just going to keep them up there until they lose another game, aren't they? That's just what they're going to do.
Yeah, and then they're going to drop them 1 spot, and then they'll lose another game, and then they'll maybe fall to 5 or 6. And then some teams in front of them will lose, and they'll win some more games, and then they'll jump. They'll Purdue's going to probably end up with a 1 seed unless they have an early exit in the Big Ten tournament, or just really fall apart. But Big Ten's not even that good. They got three teams in the rankings.
I don't get it, man.
Wisconsin's in dangerous territory to fall out of the rankings. It's like they're barely better than the Pac-12 as a conference. So
yeah, as of right now, yeah, absolutely. I'm with you on that. But yeah, feelings about Purdue, we get that. Noah, how do you feel about UConn still up there at 1? I mean, in my book, keep them up there until the wagon falls off. And even if they do lose, they're one of those teams. Like even if they lose a game, Noah, like I would be hard pressed to move them out of that number 1 spot. I don't know a team that's playing better than them right now. Fair.
Depends to who.
Fair.
But yeah, if UConn goes and loses like a road game to Marquette, or even even a team like Creighton, if they go on the road and lose to a Creighton,
yeah,
I wouldn't drop them off the 1 line. They probably would, but
just so they can move Purdue up there, probably.
Right, they would drop down to 2, but I like UConn has. Yeah, they've been the best team all year. They deserve to be number 1. I don't know why they weren't number 1 to begin the year. Not that they were ranked poorly, but what were they, 5 or 6 coming into the season?
Yeah, they were. It was disrespectful.
They have been the best team the entire year. I've been saying for 4 or 5 weeks they deserve that number 1.
Yeah,
I've had them at number 1 for like 5 weeks straight now, and like I said, even a quality road loss, I probably personally wouldn't drop them off at number 1.
No, not at all. Not at all. Loving what UConn's doing. Loving what don't love what Purdue's doing. Like what Houston's doing. Like what Marquette's doing. How are we feeling about our Wildcats, Noah? I mean, I'm still holding my breath. I'm still holding my breath on them. I think it's still not questionable basketball, but just not the kind of brand of basketball I want to be playing this late in the season. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Somebody had to round out the top 5.
Yeah, they did have to put someone up there.
I think the top 4 teams, I've got them in the top 4. Don't have a problem with it. I would just go UConn, Houston, Marquette, Purdue at 4. And then you get to an argument of somebody's got to be number 5.
Yeah.
Somebody has to be number 5. And so U of A is in there. And this is a rotating spot every week.
Yeah.
We're actually barely behind Marquette for 4, but there's a pretty big drop from Houston to Marquette. There's a pretty big drop from Purdue to Houston. Very somewhat narrow between UConn and Purdue as far as the AP points go.
Yeah. And
then there's a very slim margin from Arizona to Kansas, and then Kansas to North Carolina. And then there's a big drop before you get to Tennessee at 8. North Carolina in jeopardy of losing to Syracuse, and then they're out of the conversation here.
Yeah.
They'll probably drop a good 4 or 5 spots if they can't figure out a way to pull this out. So yeah, I mean, I don't love it. I don't hate it. We don't feel like a top 5 team, but then you look at the rest of the teams in college basketball, and like I said, somebody's got to be here, and take your pick between Arizona, Kansas, North Carolina. There's some teams a little bit farther down that I think are a little underranked, but not to the caliber to be all the way up at 5. So, yeah, I mean, I think right now 5, 6, 7. If you ignore the result right now that's going on with North Carolina, Syracuse, it could have been any mix of Arizona, Kansas, and North Carolina at 5, 6, 7, and it would have been fine. I wouldn't question it.
No, not at all. Not at all. And like you said, someone had to round out the top 25. Couldn't put KU in that spot this week. Shocked they didn't take the opportunity to throw UNC up there, I will say. Shocked they didn't take that opportunity.
Well, I'm kind of glad they didn't now, because it's
me too.
More like Syracuse is going to beat UNC here. And UNC has been weird this season, right? Like they didn't get off to the hottest start necessarily, but then they got really, really hot. Got all the way up to 3. And their last maybe 3-4 performances they haven't been turning in great performances the last 2 or 3 weeks.
No, it's just not look good. They look like they did, as you mentioned, like they did at the beginning of the season, and that's not the kind of basketball you can be playing down the stretch here.
Yeah, and I think they lose this one. Obviously, Syracuse not a bad team, but
no, not a bad team at all.
On the road at Syracuse, I think North Carolina, depending on what the second half of the week and the weekend does, maybe you drop them just outside of the top 10.
Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do, right? But
Syracuse just banged home another 3 to take a 7-point lead with 2:45 on the clock. So North Carolina is going to need a couple really good offensive and defensive possessions here.
Yeah, need to turn some turnovers into points real quick here
before that clock runs out on them.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. No, let's keep it moving down the list. We are looking
Tennessee, Duke, and then
KU.
State.
KU, UNC, Tennessee, Duke, Iowa State.
Oh,
Back to you, Noah.
Well, we kind of roped in Kansas and UNC into the Arizona talk there. So
fair enough. I just wanted to. You got to give them respect though when their number comes up. You know what I mean? They worked hard to drop down to number 6. Okay.
Yeah. So I won't touch too much more on Kansas and UNC. Obviously, Kansas, taking a loss there. That was. That was last week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Kansas.
So, it was.
They beat Baylor this week, and then they got blown up by 29 last night against Texas Tech. Oh no! Okay, so the K-State and the Baylor game were from last week. So overtime loss at K-State. Beat Baylor by 3 at home. Drop 2 spots. They're going to drop again. They're going to drop again. They just got blown up by 29 points to a Texas Tech team that is currently unranked. They were in the rankings for like 3 or 4 weeks and then just dropped back out, and they'll be back in now, I assume. Kansas has got to play at Oklahoma still later this week. So if they lose 2 this week, you might see them drop 6 to 8 spots. If they beat Oklahoma, who's also going to be ranked on the, in a road game against Oklahoma, they probably drop another 2 or 3 spots, but it's Kansas. They rarely fall more than 2 spots in a single week. So
and I got to admit, to the AP pullers, I will give them props there. It is hard to look at this Kansas team, and even if they do drop games like that,
McCullough's been out the last 2 or 3 games. So 2 games. So they beat Baylor without McCullough, which is a great feat there. It was at home. And then McCullough being out clearly was a big issue for them against Texas Tech last night.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll have to keep an eye on that status there. But they might be in the potential of dropping out very far. But how you feeling about Tennessee, Duke, and Iowa State? Iowa State, they're up still, right?
They should be.
I took my eye off that game for 2 minutes.
Anyway. Man, Tennessee's tough because they're one of those teams where when they're playing good, they're really damn good, but they just don't show up on a nightly basis. You shouldn't be losing to Texas A&M.
No, there's no reason.
Yeah, being ranked number 6 in the country, you don't expect to lose to A&M. Not that A&M's a terrible team, but Duke, I have a lot more faith in, actually. They took a bad L to North Carolina. Really got punched in the mouth in that one, but you kind of look past that one. They've been playing good ball lately, outside of that North Carolina game, and that's a big rivalry. Yeah, I hate if you're Duke to lose at home to North Carolina as the favorite, but I'm not overly worried about Duke, to be honest. I'm
not either.
I think they'll figure it out and be fine.
I would say, and I mean, even during that Arizona game, which, yes, I'm holding on to that Arizona game because that was the last time I actually felt half decent about this team. But even during that game, yes, we are playing Duke. It doesn't matter which iteration of Duke it is. Doesn't matter who's coaching. We're still playing Duke. And I think that was kind of lost in translation with Coach K retiring and everything, people not having faith. It's still Duke. It's still a power school in college basketball. Just because Saban retires does not mean Alabama is going to be any less deadly as they were last season. Maybe not in depth, but still on the field product's going to be solid. And the same thing with Duke.
Yeah, they needed an adjustment year last year. I would call last year an adjustment year for Duke. They were kind of underwhelming.
But 2 years after Coach K? Am my timeline all left up?
Yeah, last year was year one with no coach.
Oh, you're right. You're right. It just felt like he was there because they would show him on TV every 5 seconds when he was at a Duke game.
Yeah, so whatever. Chalk it up to an adjustment year. They didn't play super well last year. Duke is back to being a powerhouse. You know, it's the same thing as like Kentucky. They had 1 or 2 years where they were kind of very underwhelming, and you know that maybe they're not fully back. We'll see. But yeah, I'm not super worried about Duke. I think they're going to be.
No.
I think they're going to be a-okay. I think we will see them in the Sweet 16. I don't know about farther because they'll probably get a 2 or a 3 seed, potentially even a 4. So right now I'm liking Duke as like a good lock for the Sweet 16, but could very well come up short talent and experience wise to make an Elite 8. And I don't really see them as a Final 4 team, but I'm okay saying I will pencil them into the Sweet 16 already, regardless of what the matchups say.
I think it's hard not to. And I think, as you mentioned, if they keep playing the ball they're playing, they might sneak a little bit closer to that top 5. But hey,
unless they run into Quinnipiac or McNeese, because those are my 2. And hey, yeah, bonus for y'all.
I didn't know you like Quinnipiac. I love Quinnipiac. I love the way they're playing this year.
My 2 biggest Cinderellas this year, and watch out for them in the tournament. It's going to be Quinnipiac and McNeese. And then they could both turn into very popular Cinderella picks by the time we actually get to March.
Oh, absolutely.
But you heard it here first.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. I'm calling them Cinderellas before we even get the bracket out because, you know, Quinnipiac's going to draw I don't know, like a 14 or a 15 seed. McNeese might draw a 12 or a 13. So I think they're in a little bit stronger of a conference, but watch that. McNeese's going to get a 12 or a 13. That's going to be the most popular either 4-13 or 12-5 upset because that's how it always works out. And I'm always like, oh, well, I've been big on this team all year, and then nobody wants to listen to me because they're like, oh, well, that's just a chalk pick. Everyone's picking that upset. I'm like, fuck off.
I would like to officially co-sign the Quinnipiac Cinderella story pick. McNeese puts me in a hard spot, so I'm not there yet. Not there yet with McNeese. I do like the way they're playing though. But
Indiana State's the other one. I've been on Indiana State since the beginning of last season. Yeah,
you've been on Indiana State forever. Yeah.
Since the beginning of last season. I was a little too early on them, a whole season too early, but I've been big on them, and they just finally came into the rankings. Not playing super well right now. They are down a little bit. They are down 9 at home as a 19-point favorite with a minute left, so that's not a
well, hold on. All right, no. Well, let's
they got that funny number. They got that funny number in front of their name, and they choked it away.
Let me distract you from a bad pick you and I both made there, and talk about a good pick that looks like it's going to cash. Iowa State, number 10 there. Iowa State up 10 right now. Oh, they're number 10, and they're up by 10 right now. Noah, that's a coincidence right there.
Minute and a half left in that one.
Minute and a half left to go in that one. That line, I mean, real quick, that line made absolutely no sense. Even when I started looking at numbers and everything like that, I was trying to see where the hell they were getting Cincinnati -1.5, but
I ripped the money line.
Yeah, I ripped money line too. What the fuck is going on here? Why is this? But hey, I
wasn't huge. I think it was at least I got it at DraftKings at plus 105.
Yeah,
so it wasn't big anything special, but still I was catching plus money on an Iowa State team that has been one of the hottest teams in college basketball over the last month or two. They're ranked number 10. Cincinnati's not bad, don't get me wrong, but I get it's a road game against, but you got the number 10 team in the country going against an unranked team who's 13-9 or something, 14-9 maybe.
Just something.
Since he's been okay, they've had some good upsets. I know the Big 12 is tight. Any given team can pretty much lose to any team out not named West Virginia in any given night. But yeah, that was kind of disrespectful to Iowa State there. And they've been catching these disrespectful lines for a month straight.
Yeah.
And I've been making money. I've been making money hand over fist betting on Iowa State. they were unranked when I started just rolling with them blindly every single game that they play. And yeah, like I said, just been raking it in because they are a damn good program.
Oh yeah, they're very. I like the way they look. I like the way they look a lot.
Also, historically, a really good program come March.
That's true.
They tend to make some deep tournament runs, and if they can catch themselves like a 3 seed or maybe even a 2 seed, I mean, watch out for Iowa State.
Ooh, go on a little bit of a tear there. I like it. I like it a lot.
Favorable matchups in March.
I think what does their schedule look like? Because we might get another week or two out of the books with these lines.
They're going to have to adjust here. They
got Texas Tech next. Do you think they're going to adjust for Texas Tech, who just blew out KU?
No, you're going to catch a very good line. At Houston, they're probably going to be a 7 or 8 point dog at Houston.
You'll get them favored at West Virginia.
Yeah, that one might be unbettable because West Virginia has not been good. I mean, I bet that West Virginia game, especially being a home game for Iowa State, that's probably hung at like somewhere in 15 to 20 range.
Yeah. And then and
Oklahoma, maybe so. I don't know. It depends what happens, but
they'll be dogs. Even if Oklahoma is not ranked and Iowa State is, they're still going to go into that game as dogs.
Maybe. Hey, and I'll keep taking advantage if they're going to keep paying that.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And then UCF, BYU, K State to round out the season for them. Yeah, I like it. Let's keep riding with Iowa State.
Yeah, if they can go deep in the Big 12 tournament, I think they've got the potential to grab a 3 or even as high as a 2 seed.
I like it. Like, give me more Iowa State. Just give me more Iowa State.
Should we transition straight into another team that has been disrespected to all hell?
Oh, Noah, if you would like to, I would absolutely love to. Let's talk about number 11, South Carolina right there. Just absolutely disrespectful. Still moving up 4 spots, but that's a questionable one. Baylor there at 12, Auburn at 13, Illinois at 14, Alabama sitting there at 15. Noah, let me hear it. How do you feel about South Carolina up there at 11, bud?
Well, just, rewind 3 weeks to when we were doing our college basketball show 3 weeks ago. And I went on a whole tangent about how the hell is this team not ranked? And now they're up to 11. The AP poll was like, oh, we had you unranked all season, but these 4 wins over 2 weeks is enough for us to bring you all the way up to 11 when we had you completely out of the rankings before. And yeah, the AP voters are they're fucking idiots.
They're dumb.
Like I had been like 2 or 3 weeks before they even finally broke into the rankings. I'm like, how is this team not ranked? They're damn good. And now they're right outside.
Better losses.
Oh yeah, Texas had better losses.
Texas had better losses.
You're right. Sorry, I didn't take that into effect.
Hey, by the way, it's been about 30 minutes that we've been live, and we have not given one of these yet. So just to piss off some Texas fans today, horns down, bub. Anyway, back to South Carolina.
Down all day, every day. Baby.
All day, every day. Try to take down our content. You can't do it. You might be able to make students change in the student section, but we will always throw up the horns down. Anyway, South Carolina.
Yeah, so they got a game coming up at Auburn. Auburn's 11.5 point favorite tomorrow. The line is at 11.5 right now that Auburn is favored. And I am pretty high on Auburn as well.
Yes.
And Auburn is the home team, but they're still catching strays. They're still catching strays out here. They're being disrespected to all hell. Sorry, what? Like, remind me the last 2 games that South Carolina had on the road in conference play against ranked opponents. What happened? Oh yeah, that's right. They went into Rupp and they beat Kentucky.
That's right. Right.
And then they went to Tennessee and beat them there. They're going to go into Auburn.
Rings a bell.
They're going to beat Auburn. That's going to be a juicy money line. Yeah. I'll be taking them plus 11.5 for sure. I will be jumping on that money line too. And then they're going to be, then they have a home game against LSU over the weekend, which will be easy win for them. And then they'll be probably ranked 7 by the time we're doing this next week. So
I like it. I like it.
How are you going to put the number 11 team in the country as an 11.5 point dog against a team ranked lower than them?
Noah, you know it. I know it. The sports books have no idea what to do with non-Power 5 named schools if they get hot. They have no idea what it takes them weeks and
they
weeks
are
to
Power
adjust.
5 schools, though.
No, okay, but it's a Power 5, but like it's not a big name in college basketball. You know what I mean? This is not a Duke team that was disrespected and then got hot early and is keeping it moving. You know what I mean? This is a South Carolina. Who the fuck cares about South Carolina? You know, that's what the books are going to thinking. Who's going to bet on South Carolina? We're not going to put a lot of effort into that. And I guarantee you, Noah, I guarantee you, when I go live on Saturday, we're going to see a shit ton of money and tomorrow. The game's tomorrow, right?
The game's tomorrow, yeah.
All right. I guarantee you tomorrow we're going to see a shit ton of money on Auburn and a shit ton of the bets on Auburn because everyone's going to be like, well, South Carolina's not that good. They're not going to beat Auburn. Did you see what Auburn did to Alabama last time? I mean, come on. And so, I'm with you. I'll be slamming that 11 and I'll be slamming that 11 too. You're probably going to get that money line opening up around 240, 250. Yeah, let's fucking ride on that, brother. Let's ride.
Yeah, easy money. Baylor. Now we're getting into the section of the rankings here where it's good teams, not great teams. This is Baylor. They've had a solid season. They've had some ups and downs. No crazy good runs, no crazy bad runs. Not really ever getting blown out. Not doing anything too wild. Auburn, same thing. They've been a very solid team all year.
Yeah.
I've been high on them all year. I still am. But, yeah, I think Baylor, Auburn, right where they belong. Illinois, I think, is a little too high.
Way too high.
Obviously blowing the absolute brakes off of Michigan right now. That game might be over now. I was too scared to bet on Illinois at home as a 15-point favorite, even with as bad as Michigan is this season, because Illinois is really good when they're really good.
Yes.
They're another one of those teams that just doesn't show up all the time. They play some trash games. Alabama's been,
dude, can we just
interesting, weird. They keep just going back and forth in that 15 to 25 range, and they don't seem to ever drop out of the rankings. They did for a week or two, and then they never get higher than 15. They just keep bouncing back and forth. They'll drop a couple spots one week and then come up a couple spots the next. And so, that's Alabama for you this year. They are a 4 or a 5 seed through and through, and they are going to be one that is very susceptible to losing to a 12 or 13 in the first round.
You gave out your little Cinderella pick earlier. I'll give you my first round upset a little early here. Alabama's done. They are out in the first round. You get them against a half-competent mid-major, and they're going to be shown the ropes. I mean, the inconsistency, I think, is what pisses me off more than anything with Alabama and Illinois. As you mentioned, Noah, both teams can absolutely show up and play their ball and do good. But then the times they don't, you're sitting there like, why are we even still talking about them? Why is this even a conversation anymore? Let's get them out of the rankings. Let's get them out of all this. But we're not. They won't, because they do come back and they do have those games. I'm tired of it. I'm ready for that first round exit come March, and I cannot wait to be live for every second of it. Well, I will be live for every second of it and just enjoying that loss for them. Anyway.
And we have these types of teams every single year.
Yes.
Who have this capability of playing really good ball, but also have these big let-up games. And these are very oftentimes the teams that fall on the 4, the 5 line, even extend it to the 6. And then when you're talking about your best mid-major teams, right? So your best 1 or 2 teams in mid-majors most years are grabbing an 8 or a 9 seed. Sometimes one gets a 6, or sometimes they're on the 4 or the 5 line. But your 12s and 13s, because you never go past 11 with the power conferences. That's the lowest seed they'll give to a power conference. So you have some of your best, most competent mid-major teams, which is why the 12-13 picks are always very popular upset picks. It's because you got very, very solid teams. Yeah. They might not be as talented, but they're very solid. And then you have teams on the 4, 5, 6 line that are very susceptible to playing shit games. And so that's why those are such popular upset picks. And like I said, Illinois, Alabama, love them both on that 4-5 line, and probably going to pick them both to get upset in the first round.
Yeah. I can't wait. I really can't, Noah. It's going to be great. But keeping it moving down the list, let's go. Dayton, number 16. Creighton, number 17. St. Mary's sitting there at the 18. BYU at 19. All right, here's where we should start, Noah, because I might need like a lot of therapy. What the fuck is Wisconsin still doing in the rankings?
Yeah.
Please, explain that one to me. Explain it.
Well, you remember 2 weeks ago when I said, how the fuck is Wisconsin ranked number 6? And, well, we'll have to clip that quote because after I said, how the fuck is Wisconsin ranked number 6, what did they go and do? They lost 4 games in a fucking row. Somehow they're still in the top 25. And,
bro, mind you, not only did they lose 4 games in a row, their last loss was at Rutgers, 78-56.
Well, Rutgers is a weird one because, you know, Rutgers year in and year out are
solid,
very good at home and very, very terrible on the road. And that's just Rutgers' identity. But they lost to Michigan.
That too. They lost
terrible.
To Michigan. That's terrible.
And then they blew a 19-point lead against Nebraska. So I said, how the fuck is Wisconsin ranked number 6? And then they lose to Nebraska. They lose to Michigan. Purdue, they kept it close, excusable. You know, that's not a bad loss. That is totally A-okay.
I'll give them that one. Fine, I'll give them one.
But Nebraska, Michigan, and who else was it? Nebraska,
Rutgers.
Michigan, Rutgers. Yeah, you're losing to 3 teams that are in the bottom half of the Big Ten in 4 games, and somehow you still get the graces of being ranked. And it's not like they got dropped all the way to 24.
No. It's not like they got dropped below 20. They are 20. Like,
it blows my mind. I don't know how Wisconsin's in the rankings after that. I didn't know how they were at 6 to begin with. Yeah, they lose tonight to Ohio State. I mean, I don't think they should be in the top 25 right now as is. I think they should be right outside. I think they should be in the top 30, not the top 25. They need to prove it. They need to prove that they can win games again before they deserve to have a number in front of their name.
Yeah. No, I'm right there, buddy. I'm right there. I do not understand what's going on. I don't get it. And most of the times I feel like you and I can get into the AP voters' head and be like, all right, this is where they're coming from with this. This is just because some asshole in the AP is a Wisconsin fan and doesn't want his team out of the top 20.
And it's not about
explain it
it's not about losing 4 in a row. It's that 3 of those 4 were bad losses. Like they were bad teams. You lost 3 out of 4 games to bad teams. If you lost 4, like if you're playing in the Big 12 and you hit a hell stretch of like, you know, Kansas, Baylor, Iowa State, and take your pick of another team that's not named West Virginia. Sorry, West Virginia fans.
That is 2 shots at him today, bro. Shit.
Well, if you're a West Virginia fan, you understand. I'm not trying to attack you. But like if you lose 4 like that, I drop 10 or 12 spots maybe in the rankings and it's fine. Wisconsin dropping 14 spots only after those 4 losses, that's atrocious.
This week they only dropped 9.
Yeah, and they only dropped 5 the week before.
Oh, that would be 14. My math was not mathing there. Sorry.
Granted, the week before was an overtime loss to Nebraska where they blew a 19-point lead and then a loss to Purdue. So not that bad. 5 spots, that made sense. You lose to Michigan and Rutgers in the same week and only drop 9 spots? I digress. Yeah. I don't know.
Only up by 5 right now, 11-6 with 13:28 left to go against Ohio State there in the first half. That is some top 20 basketball right there.
A lot of game left in that one.
Oh, man. How you feeling about Dayton, Creighton, St. Mary's, BYU? Any of those really sticking out to you? Because like you said, we're kind of in that ranking, but I mean, I like the way BYU is playing. I'm liking the way St. Mary's is playing just a little. I feel like I'm going to get hurt by St. Mary's again.
Dayton, like I've been saying, very, very fucking good team. So I just want to say they were playing Duquesne tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Game is over.
Okay.
Dayton was down 57-55.
Woo.
With 5.5 minutes left. They went on a 20-2 run to end the game. And that is why I am so high on this Dayton team, right? They played 34 and a half minutes of a not great game. Duquesne's not a bad team. They're fine. Duquesne's not a bad team. And then went on a 20-2 run to win that game. Like,
you'll love it. You'll love to see it.
And we have seen Dayton go on runs like this throughout the season. I'm also super high on them. It's not really a brag about Cinderella pick when they're ranked 16 in the country and will probably keep rising. That's a mid-major Dayton that I could see getting a 4 or a 5 seed. I don't think they'll work their way up to the 3 line, but I could see Dayton at the 4 or 5, and that's not an upset that I'm picking against the 4 or 5 because they'll play another mid-major, and they play mid-majors all season because they are in a mid-major.
They are in a mid-major.
So, big time. I am high on Dayton. I have been. I am still.
I like
it. Creighton's one of those teams I feel good about. Not great.
Yeah.
Decent basketball. Again, one of those teams, they're not top 10. They are top 25. Put them anywhere in there, depending on what they've done recently. I think that's fine. Whatever. St. Mary's went from unranked all the way to 18 this week. And they beat Pacific and Portland and blew the brakes off of both of them. Pacific and Portland, not good teams, not good programs. I'm a little baffled how you go from unranked to 18, beating up on 2 shitty teams.
Good losses. They had some good losses.
And St. Mary's has strung together a lot of wins in a row. And I think they were, I don't love it. I don't hate it where they are. I think they should be in the top 25, but lower.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to penalize them on that first month and a half of the season where they were not playing good ball. They were not playing good ball the first month and a half. They've played really good as of late. So they are very hot. They're good. I just don't understand the AP jumping them from not ranked to 18. That's a little mind-blowing there. I'd put them at like 22 personally right now. And then let them work up from there. There are good teams in the West Coast Conference.
There are very good teams in the West Coast Conference.
Gonzaga, San Francisco, Santa Clara, all good teams. They have more games against good teams in their conference. So I would have put them at like 22. Let them work up a little bit from there.
I understand where you're coming from. I can't wrap my head around completely why they're up there at number 18. I mean, I guess because you look at Wisconsin and they played bad. They dropped I cannot speak. They dropped Utah State out of the rankings, and so you had to put someone there. You bring up Oklahoma. You keep FAU in there. I don't know, man. It's messy. It's messy when we're getting down here. You ready to keep it going though? Because I mean, the bottom half is a fucking shit show.
Yeah, BYU is a weird one. They're at 19. Real quick before we jump into 21 through 25. They got so much media attention and so much hype during their non-conference schedule, and we're all the way up into the top 10. And then they fell out of the rankings. Now they're back in. And they're just so weird to me because they got so much hype in their non-conference and all this attention. And then the Big 12 started, and they have flown completely under the radar. They lost a couple games, fell out of the rankings, and then now they've just been flying sneakily under the radar, and they've been winning games again. And it just weird. I can't really get a grasp on them, right? Because they played so hot, and then they had a shitty stretch, and now they seem to be winning again. If they can keep it going, they will be dangerous, but what's to say they're not going to fall on another shit stretch?
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing that worries about me as well. God, what the hell? That's the thing that worries me as well. Is I'm worried that they will get towards that March. They're going to be playing good basketball and just fall, as you mentioned, fall off the cliff there and have absolutely no safety net because it's one and done at that point. So, going to be I really want to see how they're playing at the end of the season. I want to see how they're playing at the end of the season before I make any decisions on that. But no, let's get it moving down to the bottom, which I think is mind-blowing to me. You got 21, you got Virginia there, Kentucky at 22, 23 Indiana State, FAU sitting there at 24, Oklahoma joining the rankings this week up there at 25. See the list of everyone who just missed it and everyone just dropped. I mean, look at that.
Well,
Noah.
yeah, Virginia, Indiana State, Oklahoma, all new to the rankings this week and looking like they all might lose tonight. Virginia and Indiana State already catching losses. Virginia as a 5-point favorite, I believe.
Yeah.
To who are they?
That was to Pitt, I believe.
Yeah. 5-point favorite at home against Pitt, lost by 11. Indiana State, 19.5-point favorites at home against Illinois State, lost by 13. Oh man, and then did that Oklahoma game start? Oh, they're down. They're down 10-7 at Baylor about 5.5 minutes into the game. So
love that.
We'll see, but I mean, the tough part for Indiana State is they should have been in the rankings 2 or 3 weeks ago, if not earlier than that. And they just turned in their worst performance of the entire season.
Yeah, that's not how you want to start the week off. Not how you want to start your first week ranked off by any means necessary. And everyone's going to look at that immediately and be like, "Oh, see, that's why we didn't keep them in there. That's why we didn't put them in there initially. We knew they would fall on their face eventually." And there's the falling on face, as you like to say.
Yeah, well, still 11-2 in conference play. I'm not too worried about them.
No, I wouldn't be worried about them either.
They should be. I think they have the resume to be an at-large bid, even if they don't win the Missouri Valley.
I would agree.
I think they should be. So whether or not the selection committee feels that way, we'll find out. We'll find out if they do or don't win the Missouri Valley in the first place. But
that too.
Virginia, man, I've had moments this year where I've been very high on this Virginia team, and then they prove why they have been out of the rankings a good chunk of this year. Pitt's not that great, and Virginia had a chance to really prove it with this game at home against Pitt, and they just couldn't get it done. So we'll see Virginia come tournament time, but probably I could see them as an 8-9 seed.
Yeah, 8-9 seed,
or even a 10 or 11, depending on how the rest of the season goes.
And a very a short time, like that first weekend, they're done. I won't chalk it up to a first round loss yet, but they're not making it through. I
think they could be a pretty killer 8-9, and then just get their asses handed to them by a 1 seed in the second round.
I wouldn't hate that.
Other than that, I mean, I don't know how the hell FAU is still ranked.
No.
You lose to, who do they lose to?
It was a bad loss. I remember that.
They lost at UAB in overtime.
Yes.
And then they beat Wichita State in overtime. An 8-win Wichita State team that they went to overtime against, and somehow they are still in the rankings. And I think it's a narrative that we're trying to push here, because like, I get they made the Final Four last year, but they have five losses, and 5 bad losses,
very bad losses.
And well, I think only 4 of their losses are bad, but let's see.
Most of them are bad. Any loss is a bad loss. What are you talking about?
They beat Butler. They beat Texas A&M. They beat Virginia Tech. Those are somewhat decent wins. Beat Arizona. That's a good win. Lost to Illinois at Illinois. Neutral site. But
neutral.
Not gonna fault them on that. But you talk about losing to Bryant, losing to Florida Gulf Coast, losing to Charlotte. Recently, 1-point win at Tulane. Overtime win at UTSA. Meep meep. Not a good basketball team.
No, not at all.
3-point win at home against North Texas, who's decent, but
They're
whatever.
Bad, but
And then you have an overtime loss at UAB, and then an overtime win against Wichita State. Like, they're not playing good ball. They're not playing good ball. And I think they should be on the bubble, Joe Lenardi or whoever is making your picks. Like they're a bubble team. They're a bubble team to me. And if they make it in, I think you treat them like a Power 5 team, even though they are a mid-major. I think if they make it in, you put them at one of those 11 seed play-in games. If they lose one more game this season,
they got to be done.
And we were talking about this last week. I might even entertain. They lose one more. Maybe they're still in. They lose 2 more games before March Madness rolls around. I don't even know if I'm putting them in the tournament field.
I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't, because then you're just setting them up to get the shit kicked out of them because they're clearly not up to snuff.
And they'll still get thrown in there. They'll still get thrown in there because they made the Final Four last year. So the NCAA is going to do whatever the hell they can to make sure Florida Atlantic is at least in there. A lot of people are going to pick FAU to go deep in their brackets, and they're going to get bounced in the first round by a much better team.
Yeah, we see it happen every year. But Noah, that's the top 25. Any teams that you think we'll see in there next week?
Yeah, well, we've got the revolving door that is the Mountain West. None of them can seem to climb very high in the rankings. And we have different Mountain West teams in the rankings every single week. Do we have none of them in there this week, though?
I don't think so. I think they're all out.
Wow, they're all out. But sitting at 26 in the votes, Utah State, 27, Colorado State, 29, San Diego State, 31, Nevada, and then 34, New Mexico. So none of them in the top 25 this week, but you have 5 of them in the top 34.
You do love to see that. They're still playing good ball.
With a number of them playing each other this week. So two of them will be back in the rankings by next week.
Yeah.
They all deserve it. It's just hard because, like I said, it's a revolving door. They're all very similar in skill and execution. They're all very good teams. They'll all be in March, or they should. All 5 of those teams should. If they're not, then that's very disrespectful. And, other than that, Texas Tech will jump back in after blowing Kansas out by 29 points.
Oh, absolutely.
Not worried about that. Washington State right there on the fringe. Otherwise, you got Clemson, Gonzaga, who I don't really believe deserves to be there. Florida would be a team I would look out for. Michigan State in the top.
They're getting frisky.
They're in the top 40. Outside of that, that's kind of all I got.
Fair. I like it. I like it a lot. Well, anything else on college basketball before we wrap that up?
I do not. I'm going to enjoy the rest of the slate tonight and see what happens.
Hell yeah. I do just want it on the record. I did just take Ohio State money line plus 420.
Are they tied? They were tied.
9, not 9-12. 16-18, Wisconsin up by 2.
And you got it at 420?
Yeah, dude. They're still hanging that line at one moment. Live right now, 320 at plus 7.5.
That's crazy to me.
I know, dude. That's why I took it.
Wild.
Didn't make sense.
That's wild.
Didn't make sense. Line didn't make sense.
And if you ever see a line that doesn't make sense, just jump on it. Sometimes there's a reason for it, but
yeah, sometimes it was a responsible sprinkle. But hey,
do your research and then jump on it.
Do your research, jump on it. And we just talked about how shit Wisconsin is, so hey, let's keep it moving, boys. But yeah, Noah, before we get into the Genesis, do you want to take a quick break because I got to refill my water?
Yeah, quick, maybe 3.
Quick 3. Yeah, absolutely. Quick 3, and we will be back covering the Genesis. See you in a moment.
Down and break. How's it going? What?
But we did a recap of waste management school.
Okay.
Genesis, which should be like give or take.
Okay, well, I'll make a graphic with your props for Genesis.
Anesis?
You want me to come on and talk about getting whacked by Scott Solly? You forgot? My shoulder is offended.
Scott Stallings missed the cut.
What?
Scott Stallings is playing Secret and Brown and missed the cut. Start hate watching Scott Stallings.
I gotta get it out now while you are on break.
All right, here we go. We are back. Hello, D-Gens. I am the Brofect1 AJ. That is the Money Train Noah. And after college, fucking A, Wisconsin up by 2 still. Sorry, just got done talking college basketball. Sorry, I mean, it looked a little bit closer there for a second, then the score changed on me, and we know how much I hate that, Noah. But
it's a long game.
Yeah, still a lot going on there, but
I think you'll be okay.
I do too, but you never know nowadays. You never know. You know, I guess that's why they call it gambling. But Noah, I mean, we already talked about it a little bit at the beginning of this show. I mean, hey, I'm feeling pretty good when it comes to some PGA golf.
Yeah, we got hot. We got hot.
We stayed hot, and we're gonna keep it moving on to this week with a designated event, Noah. And I do want your take on this, Noah, because we were there at the Waste Management on Friday, and not the day that everything went into absolute chaos. And I mean, that's what it was. It was just absolute chaos there on Saturday. But I mean, I felt last year too, a little bit with this event, like it's just gotten too big. You know what I mean? And last year, fine, I'll give them a little bit of a pass with the Super Bowl being here. Barrett Jack, everything and its mom was here last time when the Waste Management was here. But even this year, it is still one of the most popular events here. Everyone travels from miles around, but it was starting to get to the point where it was almost unenjoyable. I mean, we waited 45 minutes for food and shit like that.
It wasn't that bad.
It felt.
It comes with the territory.
I understand. I'm not complaining, Noah. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, listen, there's no reason that alcohol should stop being sold. If alcohol is stopped being sold at the Waste Management, you got too many fucking people there, and you either need more staff to keep the shit under control, or you need to actually scan the fucking tickets.
Well, last year was the first year that they sold out any day. It sold out 2 days last year, and this happened last year on Saturday. They ran out of booze. That wasn't the case.
Ran out of booze, though, on last Saturday. They didn't run out of booze on Saturday. They just stopped selling.
Yeah, well, people also need to, the reins need to be pulled back a little bit. And I hate to say it, but this is a really fun, almost sacred event. But it has started to get a little out of control because people are just, they think there's no fucking rules here. And it is still a PGA Tour event. And I have noticed that the last couple of years is it's like some of the things you hear people yelling at the golfers, the amount of booze that's consumed, which is fine if you can handle yourself. We certainly have our fun, have our drinks, but we don't get to the point where we're falling over, where we're being a menace to the golfers, to the caddies, to the marshals, to the other people there, right? Like, it's like,
fair.
Just learn how to control yourself, have fun with it. And if you can do that and truly appreciate this event for what it is, then it's beautiful. But I do think the reins do need to be pulled back a little bit. I hate to say it, but people have started to get a little too out of control.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it is still a professional PGA Tour event with a lot of money on the line for these golfers, a lot of big stakes. Don't be falling out of the fucking 16th grandstand and breaking your leg and, having that be an issue. Don't be, everybody's got their cameras out. So if you're acting a fool, you're going to end up all over the internet, which not a good look. Maybe if you're in college, you think that's cool for a year or two. And then you realize later on, you're like, oh shit, I wish that wasn't out there like that. It's just, I love this event. It's very dear to my heart, but the reins need to be pulled back a little bit. Maybe not a ton, but don't be shouting profanities in a golfer's backswing.
Yeah, that doesn't need to be happening. That shit was ridiculous. But
cheer them and boo them if they're hitting bad shots. That's something that's unique to this event. That's fun, but wait until after the shot. Don't be shouting shit in their backswing. Don't be doing any of that shit. Don't get so fucking drunk that you can't walk and have to get escorted out.
Oh, it was unreal.
It's just, just have a little bit of common sense. Have fun. Obviously, this is the most fun golf event there is in the entire year by a big margin. And, don't ruin it for other people. Don't make it more miserable for the golfers. Obviously, some of them love this event. Some of them refuse to play it. And I do say a lot of those golfers have thin skin that refuse to play this, but I wouldn't want to be playing for millions of dollars and have people shouting shit in my backswing.
No, absolutely not. And I'm with you there. But you know what this means for us next year, right, Noah? They're going to jack prices through the roof.
Well, yeah, I mean, considering 2 days sold out last year, this year don't have the Super Bowl. Barrett Jackson was over before it started, and they still sold out Saturday. And there, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's 200,000 GA tickets that go up for sale. So that's 200,000 sold. I don't want to. Maybe dial it back to like 180.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you get that many people in a place, it's just almost unenjoyable, And so, I don't know. They'll figure it out.
I would like to see them add a couple more food vendors.
Yeah, there was just 4 places or something like that. I mean,
yeah, if it's going to continue to be like this going forward, I think you add some more bathroom stations, couple more food vendors. Maybe sprinkle in a couple more beer vendors as well. But I just don't think. I think how this event in the last like 4 or 5 years has grown as like exponentially as it has. It'll just take a year or two, and they'll figure it out, and it'll be fine. And again, like I said, rein it back a little bit. Like, give the marshals a little more power to kick some people out if they're being complete fucking twats. And
I'm with you.
It is such a small percentage of people that are there that do this shit, and it's clearly the people who have never been to a golf tournament before.
Yeah.
Who are like, oh, this is just a fucking frat party on a golf course. And that's not it. That's not it.
That's just not it.
When you cross the line of being disrespectful, that's when it's like, let's get rid of those people.
I'm with you, Noah.
Or being a drunken buffoon. Like, go ahead, get wasted. It's the wasted management. But don't get so drunk to the point where you can't even keep your feet under you.
It was unbelievable. I mean, we didn't see anyone too bad when we were there, but
not in person. But yeah, I mean, obviously the videos out there on the internet and all that stuff. I do want to say one more thing. Got to take my little shot at Scott Stallings. AJ, we were there on Friday. Less than 20 minutes between being there. My girlfriend's trying to take a picture of AJ and I up on the hill on 18. And then, boom, errant big slice from Scott Stallings just hits her right in the back of the shoulder, rolls down the hill. She, chock full of adrenaline, chases it down. And then, finally, when Scott Stallings gets over there, all he gives her is a, you good?
You good?
Come on, man. Do better. Do better.
I agree.
You hit an errant shot into the crowd like that. Not talking any major shit on Scott Stallings or anything, but do better.
No, but it was
better.
I understand, but like it was also kind of clear at that moment, like, oh, Scott Stallings is one of those guys that doesn't like to be at this event, doesn't give into it, doesn't buy in. You know what I mean? He was clearly like he wanted to get out of that crowd as soon as possible.
Stay home next year, Scott.
Yeah,
stay home,
please. But
and maybe be a little more courteous if you hit somebody with your golf ball.
Just a little bit.
That's all I'm saying. That's my 2 cents on that one.
I'm with you. I'm with you, Bob.
Is he playing the Genesis? Because getting into that early, that's my number one bet. Is Scott Stallings missed the cut?
Bro, you think when I was handicapping this, I was like, "Fuck! I wonder what Scott Stallings' odds are at right now. He's gonna really do well this tournament." You think that was how I was looking at this?
Yeah, I hope so.
Well, no, this is too nice of a board. No, I mean, seriously, it's a designated event, too nice of a board, nice location. Of course, it's in a nice location. I don't get, though, why they do all those tournaments in California to then come out to Arizona to then go back to California. PGA needs apparently a lot to figure out here, but they're going to the Riviera Country Club in Pacific Palisades. I work for a company that solely operates in California, and I still cannot pronounce half of these fucking cities' names, Noah. But hey, it's a nice little course, Noah. Nice little course. Shooting at a par
home course.
Yeah, Tiger Woods' home course, par 71, 7,322 yards. So mentioning Tiger Woods, Noah, thanks for bringing that up. Tiger is confirmed to be playing in this event. Saw some practice shots from him earlier today. He was driving the ball about 327 or something like that. I mean, looking good doing it, brother. Let me tell you, looking good. Announcing his new brand, Sunday Red, I believe it's called. Shout out to him. I'm not going to buy one. Probably,
yes.
But...
Big.
What?
Big brand deal with TaylorMade. Big brand deal signed with TaylorMade by Tiger Woods. Obviously, the big news story there. But hosting and playing in this tournament, this is his course. And that should be fun. AJ, I do have the weather forecast if you're ready for it.
I am ready for the weather. Bring it up, brother.
So, Thursday, we are looking at partly cloudy, high of 77, minimal wind. Friday, cloudy, high of 78, also minimal wind. Not really looking at any precipitation. Saturday, 73, likely going to be rainy, 10-mile-an-hour winds. Sunday, likely going to be rainy, and 61, a little cooler on Sunday. Also 10-mile-an-hour winds there. So not not terrible winds the entire weekend. Might get some sun on Thursday, a little warmer. Friday, a little warmer as well, but cloudy. And then we're getting into rain and okay temperatures on Saturday, and then a little chilly and a little rain on Sunday to finish it out. So it'll be an interesting interesting little weather tidbit there for the Genesis here coming up this weekend.
Yeah, PGA golfers not getting any help on this West Coast swing with weather whatsoever. Just not even, like, it has just been shit weather everywhere they've been playing. They have got to be down. It's awesome.
Sunday was beautiful.
Sunday was beautiful. Very nice. Sunday was a very nice day for golf out here. You're right, Noah.
Actually, right. Friday ended up being pretty nice too when we went.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad out.
Got a little chilly later in the afternoon.
Really towards the end of the day, yeah, but not too shabby.
Saturday was supposed to be rainy and it wasn't. So they got lucky with that. Just had the rain, a couple frost delays in there, a little chilly here in Scottsdale. Shouldn't have to worry about frost or anything like that, but the Saturday, Sunday rain might play a factor in this.
Oh, absolutely. You might be looking at some guys that get ahead early to hold on to those top 5, top 10 spots live. But Noah, you ready to do this?
I am.
Let's get into it, Noah. Talk to me. Where are we looking in the top 20, brother?
Well, I think I want to start with the make miss cut if we got that.
Ooh, okay, yeah. Give me 1 sec. Let me get it pulled up. You want to go make miss cut? Okay. To miss the cut, I assume.
We'll start with to make.
Okay.
If we can find a little Tiger Woods in there.
Ooh, okay. At minus 125 to make the cut.
Yep, and that's going to be my one and only pick. Obviously, they don't hang very good lines on these make the cut odds. No. Yeah, I staying off of anything else. I mean, I'm sure a lot of these would hit if you took them. Some might miss, but not a good payout on there. But I do like Tiger at minus 125 on his home course.
Yeah,
he's had, probably been playing that for weeks straight. He's going to be okay. Tiger will make the cut. I'm not worried about it at all. Minus 125. Lock that in. On the miscut side, I don't even know if Scott Stallings even playing this one. And this is just for fun. Like I said, I got a little personal vendetta against him now, so I will take him to miss the cut if they have that.
All right. When I type in Scott, it comes up with Adam Scott and Scotty Scheffler. So I'm going with he is not playing in this tournament.
Are you on make the cut or miss the cut?
Miss the cut.
They've got a line for Scotty to miss the cut.
For Scheffler, plus 800. I know. Isn't that interesting? That's a little...
I mean, he could, no, that's, if you might as well just burn your money at that point.
Might as well.
All right, let's go into top 20. Let's go into top 20. Scott Stallings seems like he's not playing this event, which it's a designated event, so he might not have even got invited.
True. Just the big boys playing, but top 20, Noah, how are we feeling? What you looking at, buddy?
Oh, top 20 here. I'm gonna start with Victor.
Yeah, minus 165.
Especially considering it's gonna get a little chillier and rainy on the weekend.
Yeah,
and Victor's Norwegian ass loves that weather, so he'll be doing good. I'll throw Cantley on my card, top 20 at minus 150. I like where that's at. Beyond that, I mean, Spieth is tempting. I'm not sold on it completely.
Yeah.
I do like that minus 110 line. We do have a very strong field being a designated event here. No, don't really love a lot of this, Give me actually, I'm going to toss Nikolai Højgaard top 20 on this one.
Okay, we're getting the Højgaards back in. I like it.
Yeah, we're riding with... I think I finally figured out that Nikolai is the better golfer, but I do swear to God, being twins, that they do switch places sometimes just so Rasmus can get his points and be in the mix. That's just my conspiracy theory about the Højgaards right there. I don't know. If we go down a little bit farther there, AJ, And oh boy. Brian Harmon, not a great week last week, but I will probably sprinkle a little on Harmon to top 20 this one. He seems to play well in rainy conditions as well. So if he can make the cut, I like Harmon to have a good weekend. Is kind of my thinking on that. And then, I didn't even look deep into the odds to see where we're sitting on those, but
getting Harmon at 260. What do you think of Tiger Woods plus 330, Noah?
I'm not going to go as far as taking Tiger top 20. I like to make the cut at minus 125, and that's I'm sitting there with Tiger, and that's probably all I'm sitting at right here in this tournament with top 20.
Fair enough. Let me get in here for a hot sec, Noah, because I'm co-signing. Love Victor Hovland, love Patrick Cantlay in this one. Really, I'm feeling Homa this week. I'm feeling that Homa's going to have a huge week this week.
Even after missing the cut last week?
Yes, Noah. Yes.
Okay.
Because out of the fire comes the Phoenix that is Max Homa. Max Homa is going to come out here this week. Just, hey, bad week in the office. Let's step back in and let's get her done. And I think Homa is going to have a really big week here this week. Give me Max Homa minus the 140. And I think they're disrespecting my boy a little bit. Give me Ludwig Aberg minus 125 to top 20 this one.
Aubert is how it's pronounced.
Aubert. I keep saying it wrong. My bad.
So you're on the Ludwig train now.
Choo choo, motherfucker. Yes, that is the new the new Sung Jae train.
I've just, like I've been saying since the start of the season, I need to see him capitalize before I can jump on. Like, he's got all this massive hype behind him, and he's got like one or two top 10s. It's not anything crazy that he's done. He was supposed to be this big burst onto the scene guy. He's sitting at 8 in the FedEx Cup standings right now. He's got 2 top 10s, no wins. We'll see. It's early in the season. I can't get on that train yet. I can't get on that train yet personally. I need to see more out of him. I need to see more. And I've had a couple golfers over the past few years where I'm like, boom, right away. I'm like, yes, jumping on that. Tom Kim, the biggest one, where I was like, this guy's a prodigy.
This is the guy. Yeah.
And we started making a lot of money, and then the lines caught up with how he was performing. But Aberg's lines have just been not favorable.
I understand.
For, like, the lines that Vegas is hanging are not on par with how he's been performing to this point. And I'm not saying I'm fading him by any means, because he's supposed to be this really, really good player and really quality. And I just haven't quite seen it yet.
Fair.
I've seen flashes. I haven't seen the consistency aspect of that.
No, I get it. I get where you're coming from. I get it, buddy. My last pick though in the top 20, got one more here. I'm going with our guy, Noah. I'm going with Sahith at plus 120 to top 20 this bitch. I like the season he's been having. I mean, I will say the weather does concern me. He's playing great golf.
He played great in the rain.
Yeah.
That was his biggest downfall, is the weather got nice in Scottsdale.
Just needed it to keep raining. So, hey, maybe that's what happens this time, huh?
Well,
rains it out.
Yeah, that early Thursday round where it was raining and everybody was putting up plus scores, and Sahith is like ripping off birdies in the rain.
It was awesome.
Maybe he loves the rain. And we love Sahith. One of our favorite golfers, and so I would love to see him succeed. I just don't really want to take him top 20 in this one.
I typically wouldn't either, but plus money, we love that. I think he's gonna. But it's a very strong field. No, I'm not going to disagree with you there. But I think that we are at the point where Sahith needs to be considered in that strong field.
Yeah, I mean,
that's where I'm at least with him. That's where I'm at.
I think he's a top 30 golfer on tour. I just don't know if he's like a consistent, easy top 20, take it to the bank type of player.
Fair.
Especially, he's at what?
Plus 120 to top 20.
Yeah, when you got like Sahith at plus 120, but then you got Cantley at like plus or minus 150, it's not that you can't bet on both, because obviously both could easily top 20, but I just the plus 120 is not enough for me to bite.
Yeah, fair enough.
My problem. That's my
Fair
problem
enough.
with
All right.
with that.
I respect it. No, I respect it. You ready to get into the top 10?
Yes, sir.
Let's run it. Scotty sitting there at 140, and then we start getting into plus money with Rory, Shoffley, Hovland. Where are we going here, bub?
Well, run the tape back. Give me Scotty minus 140. It's almost every single fucking week Scotty's in the top 10. Like it doesn't matter the course, doesn't matter the weather, doesn't matter anything. He, 80 to 90% of the tournaments he plays in, he top 10s. So why if you got a 90% chance at hitting your bet and it's hung at minus 140, why would you not jump on that?
I agree.
Oh God! Outside of that, I gotta go Rory plus odds to top 10.
Oh,
and you know what we say about Rory though? He loves to finish at the top of the leaderboard. He just hates to win. He just hates to win. He hates to win. So
I know. But if we stop putting money on him, they'll start giving him better odds to top 10.
If we do anything, it's not going to change anything that the books are hanging with the numbers here, AJ, until we've got like millions of dollars we're throwing on bets, and then we can sway the odds. But
hey, again, like and follow help us get to those millions of dollars so we can gamble.
Yeah, Rory there. Give me Hovland and Cantley.
Yep.
Like the plus 150, plus 170 on that. Didn't love Spieth at the top 20, but plus 230 there for top 10. I think I'll bite on that. Might take a little sprinkle on Wyndham Clark to top 10.
I like that. I like that a lot.
And then, beyond that, I mean, I don't know. It's a tough one. I might.
Why do I always feel Sepp Straka fucks around and top 10s these events?
Every now and then, him and Tom Hoagie will just like randomly.
Dude.
They'll just randomly have really good weeks. Not consistently good, but those two are in the same boat where they both will just like randomly have good weeks. And,
and then they just rip off, incredible weeks. That's enticing.
I'm going to wait one more week. A name that is jumping out to me a little bit is Charlie Hoffman at plus 1,000 to top 10. Just because, almost winning the Open, but I'm going to wait to see if he can string together 2 good weeks like that in a row before taking any action on it. And that might be all I'm taking in this one for top 10, to be honest.
Fair enough. I'm co-signing the Scheffler, the Hovland, and the Cantlay pick. I'm going to stay off of Spieth. I'm staying off of Spieth this week. I'm not feeling it.
Add Hogard to my card, actually, for top 10, plus 400.
Nikolai?
Yep.
Plus 400.
I don't think Rasmus is playing in this one, so we actually know which Hogard we're getting this week.
Well, do we?
Well, there's only one of them, so maybe they're both playing. Maybe they'll alternate rounds. Like Nikolai will go out there Thursday, Rasmus will be out there Friday. They'll make the cut, and then they'll just, or maybe they'll just switch in in the clubhouse between nines. Like they'll just switch places because can't really tell the difference between them. So
that would be awesome. And then that documentary is released like 10 years after they retire. And we're like, we do it.
I'm going to be big on this little Hogard conspiracy.
Hogard, I like it. Yeah, it's a good conspiracy. I like it. The only other thing I'm going to really add here to the top 10 is, again, I am big on Homa this week. Max Homa plus 190. I'm liking it.
All right.
I'm liking it. No, a top 5. Walk me through your thought process. How we feeling? What we like?
Scotty, Rory,
Rory,
Victor.
Yeah. Can't like
Patrick. Chalk, baby.
Chalk it up. I don't blame you.
I feel very confident that at least 2 of those will end up in the top 5. They're all at really good plus odds. You're making money if 2 of them hit, and I think that's my strategy for the top 5 here.
All right. I respect it. I'm just going to throw on Max Homa plus 400 to top 5 of this bitch. And Noah, are we just running it back with the outrights, or you got anything else?
I'm going to stay off the outrights. I mean, if I'm eyeing up 2 of them, it's Victor at plus 1,400, Cantley at plus 1,600 in this one. I don't think I'm going to take anything, though, pre-tournament. We'll see what the leaderboard's looking like after Friday.
Of course.
And might even wait until after Saturday's round, take something Sunday, either before the golfers start, halfway through the round. You know how I like to do that. I don't feel confident enough in anything outright here.
I feel you. I feel you there, brother. I'm staying off. I might sprinkle a little on Homa. I lied. I might sprinkle a little on Homa.
There's no obvious, Nick Taylor play here. Like
no, not like last week.
Like you dialed in on last week.
Nothing obvious, but I do again. I like Homa a lot this week. That's all I'm going to say. I like Homa a lot this week. But all right. Well, no, that's the PGA. That is college basketball. You got anything else to say to the DJs on this lovely evening?
Hey, man, happy Valentine's Day to all of you out there and your significant others if you have them.
And this might be a nice reminder for you. That is, in fact, tomorrow.
Yes, that is tomorrow. So if you did forget, go buy something. Flowers,
go buy the flowers, the cards, the bear.
Try to find a dinner reservation somewhere. Might be a little too late for that, but yeah, we'll enjoy the week. This might be our, with the craziness of this past weekend, and then obviously Valentine's Day. This might be our only main show this week.
Yeah.
And
well, I'll be live in the mornings. I think I'll be handicapping on Saturday, maybe Sunday. I've not decided. It's because I'm lucky. No, I'm lucky. My lovely fiance, her birthday is on the 16th of February, and so you do some simple math there. That's a 2-day gap.
Oh yeah.
Gonna be a good time though. Gonna be a good time. Can't wait. But yeah, hey.
But we should be back. We should be back to our regularly scheduled programming come next week.
Oh hell yeah!
This might be a little light on the content this week, but that's we just had the Super Bowl. We just had the waste management.
This is that yeah. Those are our 2 big weeks, and then we got March coming up. Whoo!
Oh yeah,
we got March coming up. We'll be rocking and rolling.
We will continue to have at least one weekly college basketball episode through the end of the season. We'll probably, now that football's over, dive a little into NBA and NHL.
More NHL, definitely, but
yeah, maybe some other stuff. I don't know. Stay tuned. It's yeah. Well, hey, and if
also pitchers and catchers reported today.
Mm-hmm. If you want something specific covered, throw something in the comments.
Yeah, let us know.
As long as it's not something weird and obscure, we'll probably cover it. So.
I will. If anyone is interested, I will cover the obscure sport on ESPN Plus called Kabaddi. If you have never seen it before, no, it was one thing I found when I was sick one day, and it's this like tag rugby. Okay, it's Red Rover with violence. Okay, it's one of the most popular sports over there in India, and let me tell you, bro, they get after it, man. They get after it. I'll cover that shit too. Probably won't cover cricket because I do not understand cricket. I've had cricket explained to me by an Australian, by someone from New Zealand, England. I still have no fucking idea what's going on.
Watch, there's a movie out there. I don't know where you go to find it, but it's called Lagan, Lagan. Okay. And you'll have maybe not a full understanding of cricket, but a better understanding after that.
That's all I want. It seems like an interesting sport. And you can always bet on it. There's always something going on with cricket. I mean, it might be day 3 of the game or something like that, but there's always something to bet on with cricket.
Yeah, I think cricket's fun. I don't fully understand the rules, but I like it. It's like I would say it's a little more entertaining than baseball, to be honest. But we
I
also
wouldn't go that far.
got college baseball, college softball starting up here, and
Hell
so
yeah.
we will be your one-stop shop for anything and everything sports. And like I said, if there is something you want covered, just toss it in the comments. We'll visit it.
We also got the UFL coming up.
UFL.
Hey, let's go Defenders, huh?
DC Defenders,
Let's
baby.
go Defenders. I'm feeling good about our. I like what was it? I saw the they put out like their roster or something like that a couple days ago on X, and hey, let me tell you, I'm feeling the boys. I'm thinking the boys are gonna cook. I'm feeling good about the boys.
Yeah, let's get it.
Hell yeah. But with all that being said, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. If you haven't yet and you like what we're cooking, please hit that like button. Helps out a lot more than you know. And if you really like what we're cooking, that follow button shouldn't be too far off. Hit that as well. Shout out again to our 433 incredible followers here on Rumble, 243 over there on the YouTube. We appreciate each and every single one of you. But with all that being said, I, of course, am the Brofect1 AJ. That's the Money Train Noah. And we'll see you next time on Degenerate Takes.